well. Well, the camera kind of just stopped. I pressed the button by accident. But let's kind of continue. He's on his other leg right now. And, okay, so also with the hip flexors, get the hip flexors at the right length, okay, so that your back is not arching. Sometimes tight hip flexors have a tendency to cause what's called chondromalacia on the knee. Meaning that when the hip flexor is tight, it pulls your kneecap, flattens it, like it pushes it on the joint, and so there's a lot more rubbing in it, and then you end up with grinding in it, and then you end up with osteoarthritis because over the years of grinding, take into account flat feet, it pulls, it'll pull your leg in like this, and then there's a whole bunch of malalignment of the kneecap, which will cause grinding. So slowly trying to take care of those issues while he does exercises that kind of gets him in shape. So that's a thing you want to kind of take care of, and that's what we're trying to take care of right now. So he's doing the other leg again, and it's a tough thing. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. If you I forgot the physio's name, but if you look up chondromalacia patella, what a lot of the physical trainers, the physical therapists state is that, you want to stretch the tight hip flexors, and you want to strengthen the VMO, the inner part of the quad here, okay? So, because sometimes it's not even activated, it doesn't work. So that being said, that's pretty much what you have to do, but it takes a long time to do that. You want to make sure that the knee cap is actually tracking inward and not being pulled outward by the tight hip flexors and probably the tight IT band too. Some people state that. Now with flat feet and orthotics, sometimes I find that orthotics, look at this guy's shoes, okay? They're kind of like boats, okay? They're really big, and what happens, this is my opinion, it's kind of like people who wear weight training belts. When you wear them, you kind of lose the sensation to activate your core because you're dependent on a weight belt to support you. And sometimes you tend to protrude your abdominals into the weight belt, which is totally not the right functioning of your core. You want to draw in to tighten everything up, and that focus with your breathing and actually holding your breath to keep the intra-abdominal pressure. With the shoes, when you use shoes and you're not in bare feet, you tend to lose the feeling of the intricate muscles in your feet. So you lose sensation, and then you also lose the actual stability because you're relying on an orthotic to kind of give the support that you're lacking. So trying to kind of train him slowly to kind of get used to using his feet more so he can kind of possibly get a better arch in his foot if that's possible. Some people say it is, some people say it isn't. I think that with respect to the arch of the foot, if you're looking at the gastrocs, the calves, there's also in the front of the leg, there's the tibialis anterior, but in the back, there's the tibialis posterior, which kind of goes along under the foot here and helps with the arch. So if that's slack, because of whatever reason, either using shoes for arch support instead of using your own feet, or that a muscle is dysfunctional that causes the opposing muscle to relax, it leads to calf muscles that aren't working. And in the sense, what also happens is that the calf muscles become tight, because we tend to have tight calf muscles in general, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like sometimes, I'll give you an example, and I just happened upon that the other day. If you have a tight hip flexor, okay, you have a tight hip flexor over here, your back is going to be arched, but then your hamstrings are going to appear tight, but they only appear tight because your pelvis is tilted like this that makes your back arch, so there's no more room for your hamstrings to stretch. In my opinion, for the calves, it's kind of the same thing. Your calves would be tight, but if your feet, calf tightness have a lot to do with, the ankle not having mobility, but sometimes the calves are tight, but they're not strong anyways. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that the muscles all around in the lower body have the proper extensibility, which is what we're working on. Okay, on this side he's able to touch his butt to his heel, but you see how his back is arched, so you know he's kind of cheating a bit. Now he's flattening it out a bit. But if you come over here, let's come over to this side. See, this is kind of maybe not as obvious. If you look here, I'm feeling here, it's kind of like a V. The angle is kind of like this. I'm exaggerating. So that means he has to tuck his butt in more to lengthen this out. But so far he's at his maximum right now. So with time, I have the same issue, so I know. With time, want to lengthen this and make sure his butt is completely tucked in and his back is completely flat. But you can see on this side, it's actually better than the other side. C'est quel côté que t'as mal au genou? Okay, so that makes sense. So this is the side that his knee hurts when he does stairs sometimes. And if you notice I showed it before, he's not able to get as close to his heel with his butt on this knee. That makes sense. The hip flexors are tight on that side. So, enough of this rambling. I put this all into one video. I wanted to do several videos, but I'm just going to send this out, see who looks at it. I wanted to do one in French too, because there's a lot of people looking for this in French. So, if this gets a good response, we'll see. I'll be doing more. So, have a good day.